As we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks, the process of helping somebody to make a decision, otherwise referred to as follow-up, is a critical part of your business. And it's not an easy part of your business, but it's a simple part of your business. In other words, there's some simple things that you can do to make sure that you have success in this area. Hi, it's Lorna Rasmussen speaking to you right now from British Columbia. But what I want to talk with you about right now is how to systematize your follow-up. And I want to tell you that your follow-up actually starts as you leave the first appointment with your prospect, or the second or third appointment. So when you've talked to a prospect, whether on the phone or in person, the first thing or the last thing you want to do as you part ways is to make sure you have a time for a follow-up. This does two things. One is it alerts them that you're going to follow up with them. They're expecting you to follow up. And secondly, it's going to make you follow up because now you have an appointment. And if you can, solidify it in your phone or in your calendar for a time and a date when you're going to do that follow up. And then, of course, it goes without saying, follow up at that time. But the second thing that it does is that it leads to an expectation that you're giving this person the time they need and you're respecting them in their need to have that time to make a decision. Now, that's not to say that some people just put this person off and then they're not being honest when they say, I'm thinking about it. They've decided and they're not going to do it. And we'll talk about that, overcoming that kind of an objection coming up. But in the case where somebody is genuinely having a challenge, making a decision, and they need that time, please honor that time. Otherwise, you become one of those pushy salespeople that everybody hates. Even if you're not pushy, you're still giving them that impression because you're requesting that they make a decision on your time frame rather than on their own. The next thing that you want to do once you have made the decision to do that follow-up is, because you've got this in your schedule, when you pick up the phone and you call them, you're simply doing what you said you would do. And my recommendation is that you set aside times in the day when you do your follow-up. Because when you do that, you kind of can get yourself, remember we talked about getting yourself in the right state of mind and the frame of mind to make those calls. You can just do one after the other after the other. And what you'll find is the more you do, the easier it gets. So the first one I would call would be the easiest one, the one that you're pretty sure somebody's sitting on the other side of the phone expecting your call. So if you set, for instance, your times to follow up with people from 10 to 11 on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and then Fridays, Thursday afternoon and Friday morning, whatever the times are, that's when you're going to book that appointment for the follow-up. You're going to have your calendar and you're going to say, that's my follow-up time. And again, by doing that, you are starting to train your brain and train yourself to expect to sit down and make those follow-up calls at those particular times. And you've also put them in your calendar as important times because those are your money-making times. But next to doing a presentation, the follow-up is the next most effective way for you to make a living and make money. So that's just a couple of ideas in that whole process. We'll continue on the next video about how to take that process and really work with your mind and the process to have success in your follow-up.